Folks, the ninth day of a government shutdown, and Donald Trump and his MAGA thugs are saying they're not going to pay federal employees. Even got the IRS agreeing with them. Let's go to Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz out of Florida. She joins us right now. Congresswoman, glad to have you on the show. It's insane to see what is happening. Now they're trying to say, oh, we're not going to pay federal workers like we've done in the past who were impacted by government shutdown. This literally makes no sense whatsoever.
Not only does it make no sense, Roland, and congratulations. It's great to be with you on this platform, and congratulations on your success. We've talked about this over the years, and I'm glad to see that you've launched. But it's federal law. It not only doesn't make sense, it's federal law that Donald Trump signed himself in 2019 to make sure that federal workers would be guaranteed their back pay when they're furloughed during a government shutdown. This is a furlough through no fault of their own. It is federal law. There's no way that they can do that. And what he's trying to do is just make sure that he exacts as much pain as possible to try to intimidate Democrats into backing down, when we have to make sure we stay singularly focused on canceling the cuts, lowering costs, and saving Americans' health care. And that has to be a part of any end of the fiscal year government spending deal.
Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, this is Greg Carr, one of the panelists here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, and we're glad to have you on and continuing to fight the good fight. We see that today, of course, for the seventh time, the Senate failed to reopen the government. It seems as if public opinion is really turning against the Republicans now. What's your sense as you talk to your constituents and your colleagues on the Hill as it relates to, for lack of a better term, the PR, the optics of this moment? It almost seems like it's turning against them now. What's your sense?
That's very much my sense as well. I'll tell you, I have the sixth most signups in the entire country for the Affordable Care Act, and Florida is the #1 state in signups, including Hialeah, which is a Republican city in Miami-Dade County, which has the most of any city in the country. We've got people contacting our office who, for example, we got a call from a Fort Lauderdale father of 5 whose family's premiums are going to go up $1,200 a month. The astronomical increases. You have the average couple making $82,000 a year in my district. They would see their premiums rise annually $18,000. That's a 259% increase. As a breast cancer survivor, I know if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And it is absolutely critical that not only we deal with the cost of living driven up by Donald Trump's tariffs and his refusal to actually address costs like he promised. But now, because of the big ugly law, they kicked 15 million people off of Medicaid, and now they're going to cause millions of people to have their healthcare costs get driven up. And they'll use the emergency room as their primary access point when they can't afford their healthcare. And that'll shift costs to all of us.
Yes, ma'am.
But Congresswoman, the big thing, here's what jumps out at me on this whole piece. You obviously have the healthcare piece. And what I have been saying is that one of the things that Democrats have to also do, they have got to hammer home that the people who need the Affordable Care Act the most are the folks in these red states. And to me, that means literally going to these red states. I'm talking about, I get what's happening in D.C., but I think what has to be happening, whether it's Ken Martin at the DNC or others, literally going to West Virginia, Ohio, Utah, South Carolina, and saying, y'all are going to get screwed. You have the worst health outcomes. You have the worst economic conditions. And so if the Republicans who y'all voted for keep this up, y'all are going to get screwed.
You're right. And we have been taking this message on the road all year long, right to Republican states, doing town halls in Republican districts because the Republicans won't show up and do their own town halls, Roland. So we've been doing that to make sure that their constituents understand we're here, we're ready to negotiate. By the way, let's also talk about that the Republicans left town. The House hasn't voted since September 19th. They canceled votes last week. They canceled votes this week. They are AWOL. And we're at the table ready to negotiate. That's how it's always been done when we've had government shutdowns in the past. I've never seen one party just leave the table and leave people twisting in the wind like this as if they don't care and they think they're going to be able to ride this out when these premium notices, these increases are landing in mailboxes right now. So the pain is only going to get worse, not better.
I think you couple that, the healthcare issue, with what's happening with these farmers who are moaning and crying about soybean and the costs. And same thing. Listen, Trump said he was going to impose these tariffs. These people voted for it. So they're getting exactly what they voted for. So when you hear the people say, oh, this is not what I voted for, are you as confused as I am?
It is baffling, and his tariff policy is wildly unpopular. It is actually killing our farmers in rural areas, so much so that now they're having to talk about passing relief for the farmers to help them with the increased costs and the price cuts that they've been dealing with because of Trump's tariffs. So they are actually screwing their own red state people. They're hurting agriculture badly, and now they're having to spend money to actually make up for that. It is such an upside down, backwards policy that is actually hurting the United States economy, not helping.
Help me here. This continuing resolution, how long is it?
I think I might have lost you, Roland.
Yeah. No. So I said, okay. So what you're voting on?
There we go.
How long? What you're voting on? If you vote to, of course, reopen the government, how long is this continuing resolution? Is it several weeks?
It's a 7-week resolution that the Republicans say, yeah, we can just keep the government open and we'll get to health care. We don't have to do that now. That's a December problem, not a right now problem. I'll tell you, I had a receptionist in Cooper City tell me that her annual premiums were going to go up $3,200. That is real money for someone who works as a receptionist. And this is a right now problem, not a 3-month from now problem. And it's something that we have to make sure that we include as part of the overall deal that we make when it comes to how we fund the government. These tax credits are expiring December 31st, and people are getting those notice of increases right now. So Republicans need to come to the table. They need to come back to work.
Well, see, the reason I asked that, we're having a fight right now for a 7-week continuing resolution. And in 7 weeks, we're going to be right back at this same spot, right?
Yes, which is why we need to negotiate the full decision on how to deal with this right now. I don't know what they think is going to be different in 7 weeks. It'll just be closer to the deadline and there'll be more pressure. They had all year to deal with this. We asked them to include this in the big ugly law that they passed. They refused. They kicked the can down the road further, and now they're saying, "Oh, just trust us. We'll just pass this CR for 7 weeks, and we'll negotiate with you after that point." Well, no, then it's November, and we're about a month out by then. And when it comes to making sure that people have affordable health care, that is absolutely critical. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and you should not be forced to the 82,000 people in my district who would lose health care entirely, and the 203,000 people who would see their costs skyrocket if those tax credits expire. They deserve affordable health care. They shouldn't have to use the emergency room as their access point, and they shouldn't be forced into being diagnosed at later stages of illness and having much more expensive healthcare complications that might kill them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this here, Congresswoman. I've traveled this country, and all I'm hearing from people who watch this show, when I'm all around, folks are saying Democrats bet, not bend, buckle. They said they need to stand firm and continue to take the fight to Republicans. because they see how they are abusing the Department of Justice. They see how they are abusing people with these ICE folks. They see what's happening with National Guard. And I'm hearing people say enough is enough. They're sick of it. And this is a hill Democrats must die on and stand firm and fight them tooth and nail and get everything they want and not compromise.
This is critical. Our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, has been very clear, consistent, and unifying. The House Democrats are in lockstep. We're not budging. Our Senate counterparts haven't been budging either. And we need to just stay in this fight. We need to make sure that we pay the troops, and we need to make sure that we guarantee the law is enforced to pay our furloughed employees who are only off the job now because Republicans refuse to come to the table and do their job and make sure health care is affordable.
All right, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, appreciate it. Look forward to having you back on the show.
We'd love to. Thanks so much, Roland. Good to see you.
Likewise. Thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.